Lagos is Nigeria's nexus of Trans-African Highway, the sub-Saharan African largest ICT market, hub of West and Central African maritime and aviation, the home to over 70% of Nigeria's industrial investment and 65% of its commercial activities. All these are attributed to its sound economic base, strategic maritime location, and socio-political importance. Let's tell you more about this great city on the City of Lagos TV show. Welcome. Proactive and dynamic leadership has been the major driving force of quality governance in the city of Lagos, as offered by Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Let's now bring you latest news report of activities and engagements of Mr. Governor from the Governor's office. That was a chorus song in Yoruba by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his teeming APC supporters, calling for divine help and support for victory in the upcoming governorship election in Lagos State, held in Lagos recently. Mr. Governor will use the occasion to thank party faithfuls and Lagosians for their commitment, solidarity and support for his government, reeled out major achievements of his government, promising to sustain good governance in Lagos.
Today is a day that the Lord has made, and we're indeed happy and excited that God has given us even the brightness of today. He has given us a good weather, and I want to thank all of you for coming out in large number. Just a week ago at the Teslim Balogun Stadium in Surulere, we witnessed the Presidential Campaign Council, where a larger crowd ushering our presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his vice presidential candidate, Senator Kashim Shettima. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of our supporters, all of our friends, all of our well-wishers for gracing that occasion. You have come out again today, a week afterwards, to come and show again your love, your commitment, your solidarity with our party, with all of our candidates. I want to thank you for coming out in large number and for showing solidarity, for showing love, support. A greater Lagos is rising. A greater Lagos rising. A greater Lagos is rising. Why is it rising? Lagos is rising, given all of our modest achievements under our team's agenda. Is it on transportation and traffic management? You can see the completion of our rail projects. We have seen our commitment on all of our BRT corridors. First line buses, BRT buses, last mile buses. We have seen new taxis. We have seen ferries on our road. We have seen the development of ferry terminals in 17 locations in Lagos. You have seen that we have resolved the Apapa gridlock. You have seen a new energized LASMA that is working tirelessly. You have seen the construction and the completion of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. You have seen the regional road that we're doing. We have seen the road going to Ekpe. You have seen the road in Ikorodu. You have seen the one in Ekpe. You have seen the one in Victoria Island. You have seen everywhere, every part of the state. You have seen roads being constructed, new roads being bridged, existing ones being managed to better serve you. What we're about is about purposeful governance. On health and environment, we have seen the construction and handover of brand new hospitals in Badagry. We have seen new hospital in Ekpe. You have seen new hospital in Etiosa. You have seen the construction of a new one in Ojo. You have seen the construction of a new one in Ikorodu. Every part of the city, you have seen health being handed over to you, our citizens. You have seen the clearing of our drains, the building of new drainage channels. As we speak, over 210 various drainage challenges are being constructed. We have seen the widening of the existing one. We have seen that for the first time, flood is not carrying us in Lagos. We are not envying those other parts of the country. We have sympathized with them, but we are happy that for the first time, we do not have the incident that we used to have several years ago. It's because of our commitment as a government.
And that's the picture from the governor's office segment on the City of Lagos TV show. When we return, we'll talk more about your great city, Lagos, on the show. We'll be right back. The theme of the Art of Technology Lagos 4.0, Talent Acceleration and a Smarter Lagos, generated critical issues that bordered on energy and education. In a chat with the media to address these basic fundamentals, the Lagos State Deputy Governor, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, noted strategic initiatives being taken by the state government to accelerate talent for a smarter Lagos.
We now have laptops that can work for 8 hours after charging. So that's what Lagos State has done, for example, in terms of our education. So all our teachers, for example, now have tablets that they charge. If you go to a rural area, it could last you for a week. So what that means is, teachers normally have, they have their teaching plans. They have all those things. That takes time. Those teaching plans are already in the system, so they don't need to write it again. And then we have also geolocated it so that we know where a teacher is. So if a teacher is actually in a classroom or is not in a classroom. And then each one of us in the State Executive Council that are interested, for me now, I have all primary schools, the 1,019 of them, I have it on my laptop. And I can check any primary school. I can check how many students in class 1A, for example, came in on time, how many are late. So if a child is then late, say for 3 days in a week, you can go and ask the parent what's going on. So the essence is to use technology to manage education, and then of course e-health and so on and so forth. So we are deploying technology to assist our teachers, to assist the students, to assist our doctors, and so on and so forth. There is a bill now in the House of Representatives that is trying to restructure NEC. So what is happening is today, it's like only federal government controls electricity. We are saying no. Let the states also control electricity. So let's have Lagos, for example, has 2 discos, Eco discos and the Keja disco. Interestingly, they serve only Lagos State. So why can't a state like Lagos interact with that if we need to invest there to serve our state? And then we take whatever equity, whatever we need to do. So we've discussed it, but we don't want to now conflict with the regulation. That's why we're going to the National Assembly to see that we can break that open so that states liberalize it and make sure states. So all the pillars are being addressed, interestingly.
On his part, the special advisor to Mr. Governor, Mr. Tubosun Alake, gave an insight into his presentation at the event, noting that strategies and intervention initiatives to check talent migration is of great concern.
One of the key points of the presentation was highlighting the talent challenge that we have, which is really what today is about. Over the previous number of years, we've done different AOTs that are focused on particular areas of execution. This year is about talent, and It's coming at a very auspicious time as well, right? We all know about the Japa syndrome. We all know about all the issues that are facing talent. My presentation highlighted 3 out of 5 ICT engineers are actively thinking of migrating. So today is about finding solutions and alternatives to stem that tide, right? And one of the presenters said, look, he does not see Japa as an issue. Rather, it's an opportunity to actually export talent, because a lot of those talent too will send home remittances, right? And we are also in those areas preparing the groundwork for more talent to be exported, more products. So if you have talent, for instance, in the UK, there's a likely possibility that those UK Nigerian residents will use Nigerian products, which will mean more revenue for our own startups and companies here. So it's either you look at the bottle half empty or half full. So it's an opportunity. Today is an opportunity to discuss the strategies and the kinds of interventions we need to have to be able to stem the tide of talent migration, or to look at how we can leverage on that opportunity to create more value for Nigeria.
For Mr. Victor Benga Afolabi, the founder, Eco Innovation Center, he noted the strategic rationale and efforts to drive the development of talent through the AOT initiative and efforts of the Lagos State government to sustain the set objectives.
There's no other way to be able to fill the pipeline but to go down the ladder to get them when they're still very young, when they can be molded, to be able to fill our pipeline of talent, to ensure that we have the right skill set and talent that can be able to help us drive the fourth industrial revolution. If you are listening to the keynote that was expressed by the CEO of Sterling Bank when he spoke about the fact that the conversion ratio of number of people that are trained versus those that have been employed is about 50%. However, the way we can turn that other 50% to make it beneficial to the country and not become a liability is to begin to empower them. So what we're trying to do is that before they even get to universities and graduate and become, go into the job market, is to begin to sit them in and get them exposed and experienced in the tech ecosystem, so that they're already been skilled and equipped. And yes, beyond what you've seen give, I think with Last Week and other initiatives of government, they have been consistent in providing skill set and financial incentives to develop our talent in Lagos State. And I think that will continue. And that's why they are very supportive of the Art of Technology Lagos. You've seen the enormous contribution from the very top of government down to every ministry and person. You've seen the enthusiasm. Every year we've had Art of Technology Lagos, and it's a demonstration of the commitment and the will of government to continue to partner with ecosystem players to fill this gap.
You're still watching the City of Lagos TV show on TV Nigeria. And of course, today we'll be taking a look at a very fundamental issue which borders on technology and innovation, policies and initiatives that will pave way for the evolution of a smarter, digital, efficient, and competitive Lagos. We'll be speaking with the special advisor to Mr. Governor on technology and innovation, Mr. Tubosun Alake. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
The Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu government is going to be rounding up its first term by 2023. And of course, we're also hopeful that it's going to come back for a second term. Just for future projections, what are you looking forward to in terms of trying to improve technology innovation in the city of Lagos?
Great question. Absolutely a lot. We are looking forward to a lot. The opportunity of a second term would bring the potential to realize a tremendous amount of gain, whether it's in fully completing 6,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable to drive digital inclusion, to improve the GDP of the state, or whether it's fully implementing or completing major phases of a smart city project that would bring about dividends to citizens. I mean, the ability of citizens to be able to transact in the comfort of their home or offices with government on digital devices the ability for them to be able to get their permits much faster, the ability for government to be closer to the people through digital tools interaction, the ability for us to be able to drive research and development, to create new products and services. All of this spells positively the promise of a second term would help to be able to deliver all of these gains. And all of this, as you know, translates into higher GDP figures, which in turn translates into better quality of living. During this first term, I'm sure as you are aware, we launched a 30-year plan, 2022 to 2052. And the central theme or the crux of that plan was a human-centric city, where the human is at the center of all development. So for instance, the goal is if you are looking for 10,000 developers, you look nowhere else but to Lagos. And so the second term helps us to be able to put all of these things in motion, right? And that's the promise it can bring. So we're incredibly enthused about the potentials of what could happen.
Lagos State has, of course, also come up with some tertiary institutions in addition to what is on ground. This, of course, is in line with the themes agenda of the governor to try to improve on the quality of education and to broaden the horizon. So how do you intend to bring these institutions to play moving forward?
So we already have very good relationships with the institutions. I'll put a case in point. Today, the Lagos State Science Research and Innovation Council funds research and development projects in each of our universities today. There's no university in Lagos, public university in the state, that we don't fund R&D, whether it's University of Lagos, Lagos State University, Yaba College of Technology, Lagos Poly, which is now the Lagos State University of Science and Technology. We fund research and development projects within those universities. But we are going a step further because it's our intention to bring academia closer to industry. And one of the initiatives that is being driven, for instance, by the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund is the Labor Market Information System, which is a platform to help drive collaboration and information dissemination between the stakeholders in the university system and the labor market so that industry needs are directly translated to curriculum in universities. It's definitely important that we bring universities, colleges of education closer to industry within the mix so that we have a symbiosis of economic development, of entrepreneurial activity, of product development, and ultimately economic value.
Innovation and technology in a cosmopolitan city like Lagos. What were those challenges your office and the ministry have identified that are still like stumbling blocks to achieving your set mandate?
I think one of the things that we cannot ignore is there needs to be massive investments in talent, which also constitutes the theme of our AOT event. Talent is a major issue, and one of the things that we've identified is in building projects or in dimensioning projects, in building products and services, the quality of your product is directly proportional to the quality of your talent. And so if you do not have the capacity, right, then there might be chinks in your armor, or there might be chinks in the particular product. So it's by far and large one of the greatest or the existential challenges to us achieving that. But part of us going to the ecosystem is coming and saying, look, how can we better solve for this? Another issue that we faced is advocacy in terms of the ability to propagate the projects and the initiatives that are being done for full and better buy-in by the citizenry. As you know, advocacy is quite expensive, especially if you want to do it right. And I think the lack of funds there can constitute an issue to citywide buy-in of a particular project. Because the more people know about the benefits of a project, the more buy-in they have, and the more cooperators you would get to be able to realize that initiative. So I think one of our great challenges is really driving advocacy, and I think we need to drive it much harder than we are currently. And of course, we have macroeconomic challenges that we faced as well. Today, the dollar is hovering anywhere between 700 and 900 naira per dollar, and it's a disincentive for investment, right? And so you have especially local investors or local partners that are implementing projects that are probably dollar-based because some of the products are not manufactured here, having to deal with a very unstable exchange rate is an existential threat to the completion of major civic projects, right? It's a huge challenge. And so macroeconomics, you cannot escape it. These are some of the things that we have faced over the past couple of years. Of course, COVID was also a huge issue. Of course, that also affects macroeconomics. But I think if we are able to get a handle on those things, I think we would be in a better stead to be able to completely achieve all of our initiatives.
Okay. Power is a major fundamental consideration when you intend to run a very vibrant technological system for a very complicated city like Lagos. So what is the Babajide Sanwo-Olu government doing with regards to power in order to ensure that whatever you're doing, every initiative, effort, programs, projects runs smoothly?
As you well know, the issue of power is a national issue, and the causes of the current death of power within the country is mostly structural. The way power is structured in the country currently. One of the things that we have done, or that the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration has done, is to seek to develop the Lagos State power market. This has to be done by legislation. And the key instrument to be able to give Lagos State the autonomy of its own power market spells tremendous potential for the power industry in Lagos. Today, if you are a generating company in Lagos, you do not have the authority to send it to wherever you like. There is a central body that decides where power is transmitted to, because transmission is owned by the federal. And so that presents an issue in terms of distribution of power to where it's needed the most, right? And so one of the very master stroke things that this administration has done is to seek to unbundle the Lagos State from the national power market so that, there is a willing supplier and a willing buyer in the Lagos State market. And we will start to see increases in power output and of course consumption in Lagos. That is one of the things that I think will speak positively or will address the power issue in Lagos. Of course, there is also the alternative energy framework, which the Ministry of Energy has released recently, which also strives to address the issue of power and also climate change, because alternative energy looks at other sources of renewable energy that can spell well for the environment. So there are multiple things in play to address this issue.
I want to thank you, sir, for coming on the program. So possibly just a passing shot to Lagosians.
I want to thank Lagosians for their cooperation, and I want to encourage Lagosians that there are more positives that are coming along the way. We seek your cooperation, and we are in here with you driving economic value. Let's do it together.
Mr. Tinubu Chicago, Special Advisor to the Governor on Innovation and Technology, talking about the capabilities and capacity of this government to build that much desired greater Lagos for all Lagosians. I want to thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
A City of Lagos TV show will continue in a moment. Stay tuned.
The city of Lagos has witnessed on several occasions military men brutalizing police and LASMA officials who challenge them for either taking one way or using the BRT lanes. Should military officials be prosecuted for disobeying traffic laws in Lagos? Well, let's hear what Lagosians have to say on this.
In my own opinion, yes, they should be persecuted so long as they are not above the law. I think the law of the nation supersedes every other individual. If you break the law, you face the consequences. Except in some cases whereby there's an urgency, there's an emergency. Yes, at least it will be acceptable, but not when you're not having an emergency to do, you're not having any case to go attend to, just because you're a military personnel. Decide to follow in one way. And then when you are being stopped, the next thing you do is to beat them up. I think in the same country it's wrong. So they should be persecuted.
Because the government should do the needful to ensure the flow of traffic so that there won't be need for whether the military are using one way or maybe because of the exigency of need or anything. It's nobody above the law. So once they say this thing is prohibited, so everybody should comply. Military men don't queue at the ATM, they don't queue at the bank because they will need to rush back to their duty. But in terms of driving against traffic, it's totally unacceptable to me.
Nigeria is a crazy place. Things that are not supposed to be happening happen. Military men are seen as defenders, people that protect, apart from the police, but theirs is the territory of Nigeria against external threats. You have the police that take care of the civilian side against things that happen inside the country. Now, the military in Nigeria, because it has abused power in the past, you've had military administrators, people that have led the country time past and time before. They have this air of invincibility where they feel as if the law doesn't apply to them. Meanwhile, they are supposed to be the ones that hold the law to the highest extent. Traffic crimes, traffic infringements, where ordinary citizens are normally punished, even when they did do so unknowingly. Everybody is subject to the law. Nobody, even the president, is subject to the law. The law doesn't have anybody above it. So when you have that case of military men being stopped because of their infringing traffic or they are doing one way or things like that, they should be prosecuted. If they should attack people, they should be prosecuted. The reason why you see people hailing them or saying that, yeah, it's good for them, because the police is complicit. The last one people, they are complicit. They harass people, they take bribes. So it's like two wrongs. And because of their complicity, that's why the military did those things to them. So that's what's happening. If anybody breaks any law, they should face it.
Since we want a better Nigeria, everyone should obey the law. Either is a military man or a common man on the street. They are the ones that are supposed to uphold the law. So people that are supposed to uphold the law are not supposed to be breaking it. So if we can start from there, I think every Nigerian will start obeying the rules and regulations of our country.
Because I don't think there is no discipline in our military. I really believe, and in developed countries, like there are signs on the routes when you are going on the main road, like on the Kolta like this, there is sign for emergency, and that emergency sign is supposed to be on this very road. For everybody who's going on emergency, it's not that they are trying to break the rules, but it's an emergency. I don't think if they are not in an emergency movement, then they will maybe either disobey the traffic law. Because I've never seen that, because I know like the way military works, like, because I have a military background. That's it. There's more discipline. If the militaries were being caught guilty, they know the consequences. They should be punished.
They are not above the law. Any uniformed person here in Nigeria believes he's a small god, so he can do anything. So there should be the best person to be cheating their So that's just my take.
From their comments, they have offered divergent views on the matter. But as far as Lagos traffic law is concerned, nobody is above the law. I am Abisola Oladele. The show continues in a moment.
Lagos. host of the week on Entertainment Lagos on the City of Lagos TV show. It's Hallelujah time with me. I'll be right back. Okay, Lagosians, my full name is Ifeoluwa Balogun. I'm from Edo State. I've been in the music industry for the past 3 years and it's been awesome. My mentors are Adebola Shama, Jerry Emole, and BJ Sachs. My music career so far has been awesome. It's so wonderful. My kind of music is gospel. I like gospel because I want to win souls for God and I like worshiping God with my instruments. I have an album and it's a collection of 7 praise songs and 3 worship songs. I launched my album on my 10th birthday praise party. Lagos, it's Hallelujah time with me, Sax Fair. Let's praise the Lord. You can download my songs on my YouTube channel at Sax60fair and on my Instagram handle at Sax60fair. Lagosians, it's been fun with you guys. Before I go, this is my passing shot for you. Depend on Jesus. He's the way, the truth, and the life. Never give up on God. God bless you. It's time to go, but let me treat you to one of my live performances in Lagos. Enjoy it and stay blessed.
As the economic capital and major port of Africa's most populous nation, the City of Lagos TV show will continue to expound and project the great potentials and future prospects of the City of Lagos on TV Nigeria. Thanks for watching.